saying how the 34-year-old died. America is listening to Fox News.
Okay. I can do that.
We'll begin with the Bay Bridge, westbound 80 before the center Anchorage. We have a crash involving a car and two motorcycles blocking the left and middle lanes. Traffic stop back to the island. For the lower deck, 80 eastbound, that's heavy from 101 to Treasure Island. 101 northbound back up to Caesar Chavez. Brisbane, 101 southbound before Sierra Point Parkway. A multi-vehicle crash here blocking the left lane. Emergency units are on scene and traffic is backed up to Candlestick Point. In the northbound direction for 101 before Candlestick Point, we have a two-vehicle accident that's moved over to the right shoulder. They're waiting for a tow. Traffic is slow from Sierra Point Parkway. Pleasanton, 580 westbound at Hacienda, three-vehicle crash over to the right shoulder. It's slow from Santa Rita Road. That's traffic. I'm Maggie Jones.
The following program is being sponsored by Three-Dimensional Wealth. The views, opinions, and beliefs expressed are those of Three-Dimensional Wealth and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff, management, and or ownership of Cumulus Media or its partners.
Hi, Doug Andrew here. You know, as a financial strategist and retirement planning specialist for more than 45 years, I finally have dedicated the last 2 years to writing the ultimate book, The Laser Fund, How to Diversify and Create the Foundation for a Tax-Free Retirement is my favorite vehicle, and we have collected over 200 pages of charts, graphs, and illustrations to empower you. And if you're more right brain, you learn by stories, you flip the book over, and you read it the other direction. It contains 62 stories of actual clients who've employed the Laser Fund to diversify and save hundreds of thousands of dollars of unnecessary tax. I want to gift you one when you attend my next event. Register by calling 1-888-76-RADIO. That's 1-888-767-2346. Call 888-767-2346. Attend my event to get your free book. The best advice I've followed is to not follow the herd. Why I've been accused of having contrarian viewpoints. Next on Three-Dimensional Wealth Radio.
This is Three-Dimensional Wealth Radio with New York Times best-selling author and your host, Doug Andrew.
This is Doug Andrew speaking to you, our incredible national audience, from our Three-Dimensional Wealth Studios nestled at the base of the majestic Rocky Mountains. This show is about empowering you, people and organizations that want to optimize their assets, minimize taxes, and empower their authentic wealth. Folks, you may be aware that I'm very passionate about educating people with opportunities that maybe they didn't know existed before. I have a YouTube channel. It's free when you subscribe. You may want to consider doing that. Why? Because I post a new educational video almost on a daily basis, answering questions. I have now about 1,000 educational videos on the Three-Dimensional Wealth YouTube channel. And so recently I recorded a video about why I've always followed the advice not to follow the herd. And my coach, Dan Sullivan, said, and don't listen to the mainstream media because they are part of the herd. That's probably the best advice I've ever received as it relates to helping people understand the best way to save and invest for long-term goals like retirement. Now, I've been accused throughout my nearly 5 decades as a financial strategist and retirement planning specialist of being contrarian because I don't follow the herd. So let me give you some examples here. The very first thing that I did back in 1974 up until 1980 to the 1990s and until today is I learned how to be a financial strategist by not following the college financial planner pathway, okay? Now, just so that you understand, there are different courses that many financial planners take in order to become certified to be able to have that alphabet soup designation behind their name,
Great.
such as a Certified Financial Planner, CFP, or CHFC, a Chartered Financial Planner, or whatever. Now, I'm not saying those are bad, except that when you take those courses, they have different modules, and they put everybody in the same box. You have to fit into the same box, and it's all one size fits all, advice, where they basically teach financial planners to take people's assessment of their money, diversify. That's a good thing, okay? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And it's the way they define diversification that I have a problem with. Sometimes they tell you to diversify into inferior investments and have some money into investments that do not pass liquidity, safety, or rate of return test or whatever. But nonetheless, they tell you to diversify your client's money, and the best way is to follow the herd, put money into tax-deferred IRAs and 401ks, because your client will likely be in a lower tax bracket when they retire. And put your client's money in the market, and make sure they understand that the market will go through ups and downs. And when the market goes down and takes a nosedive, if it crashes, just assure your client not to panic. Tell them that the market always comes back. Well, that is the traditional advice, and I didn't go along with that, okay? Because I learned better strategies. First of all, the people that I worked with, these are financially disciplined people who were savers, and the vast majority of them who saved money, they didn't save just 2% or 4% of their income, or just barely put in the minimum to be matched on their 401k. They did the math. And they understood, in order to maintain the same lifestyle and to make sure inflation and taxes didn't erode away everything, they didn't put money in a tax-deferred IRA or 401k because they had enough of a nest egg. They were saving, 10, 15, 20, 25% of their income. They learned to live on less than what they earned because they wanted the ability to retire at age 55 or age 60 and have the same amount of money that would allow them to not outlive that money. And so they accumulated a really respectable retirement nest egg, and they were not in a lower tax bracket. Okay, if you're in a lower tax bracket when you retire, it basically means you didn't save very much. And so most people who are savers arrived at retirement, and they were paying as much or more in taxes than they ever paid during their earning years, even if they had less income. Why? Because they were going down the highway with one foot on the gas pedal and the other foot on the brake pedal, and they didn't know they were doing it. They were putting money in tax-deferred IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, 457s, and they were also paying off their house and so forth. And so during retirement,
I hate when they do this.
your free and clear house
stop all of a
does not
sudden.
give you any of those deductions, interest deductions like you used to have. The kids are gone, or if they move back in as adults, you can't deduct them anymore as dependents. If you're a business owner, you don't have those deductions anymore. If you're not contributing money to IRAs or 401ks, you don't have those deductions anymore. And because of irresponsible government spending and the printing of money, taxes keep going up. And so most people who are savers find themselves in a higher tax bracket when they retire. In fact, when I ask audiences throughout America, and usually my audiences are full of people who saved money. And I ask them, how many of you really think that taxes in the future will likely be lower? And I get nothing but crickets. How many think they're going to be the same? Maybe one or two hands go up out of 1,000. How many think that taxes in the future will likely be higher? And a sea of hands goes up. And then I go, well, why are you postponing, deferring, procrastinating, paying tax to some future perceived unknown advantage? And then you're going to withdraw your money during retirement when you're convinced taxes will be higher than today? That doesn't make sense. And so a lot of smart people realized this years before, and so they welcomed the 1997 introduction of Roth IRAs and 401ks, which is a step in the right direction, but there's still too many strings attached. So you've probably heard me say that I have never owned an IRA or 401k. Yep, never have, never will. But I also say I've never owned a Roth IRA or 401k and never will.